All right, Steve, I wanted to show you some of the changes that I made, especially to coil settings. So if you go into the service menu, go into adjustments, and then down to coils. So I just wanted to show you the values that I'm working with so you have an idea. Auto launch I left alone. Trough release, I initially did turn that down, but turn it back up because if it does kick out two balls, it won't be able to get up that ramp, so I left it at normal. I haven't changed the right flipper, that's the same. Right sling, I turned down 20%. Drop target reset, I left alone. The upper right flipper, I left at normal. You'll see it has plenty of power there. Magnets I didn't touch. I didn't touch the pop bumpers. So the posts, those are the up posts in the back lanes, and I discovered that they won't come up at all unless you have them at 10% stronger. So you got to turn those up. Otherwise you're not going to get into the pop bumpers very often. That's another pop bumper left alone. Didn't use that. Left flipper I left normal. Left sling 20% weaker to match the right. The reason I did that is just so it doesn't break those face hugger aliens. And it doesn't need to have that much action. You can actually, if you want them more sensitive, you can close the switch gap on the slings. This was standard. Upper left is 15% weaker. I used the left eject, that's that saucer, 30% weaker. Just turn that almost all the way down. It's just supposed to dribble out of there. Left alone the magnet. That's the up post for the lock, the hypersleep lock. I turned that down. It was just way too high. The scoop kicker, I turned that way down, 50% weaker. So it's just enough to fire it out of there. And that way it doesn't kill your flipper when it shoots out. Don't have any topper. Shaker motor. That's it. Okay, so let me go into the game. And I wanted to show this upper flipper. Okay, so this is one thing to keep in mind, and yours might already be set up like this, but I just took a straight edge. I'm following this screw, the base of this flipper, at just this point. So I'm lining these all up. The reason for that is initially it was set up where this flipper rubber was all the way against the straight edge. So if I went against this metal ball guide, so it was flat and I wasn't getting a good trajectory that way. Plus the flipper was just out slightly, and what that did was it closed off the shot here, and so that wasn't good. So anyway, I just aligned it so the point is aligned with this post here and this screw, and that seemed to make the shot even better to the upper ramp. Anyway, so I am running that stern coil, and so let me just show you. This is the normal flipper power. So if I toss it up, it's like the shot is right in the middle. So hit it. It should line up square in the middle here. Well, I gotta go up here. Oops. So you kind of have to practice the shot. Let me get up here. Oh, it'll come out of the pops. There we go. So at normal, it's always going to be a, it's a good thing that there's a magnet that will stop the ball and give it a better speed, because you really have to time that shot. Because if you try to do it on the fly, it's not as easy. So anyway, it does work, but just make sure that that's aligned. I feel that those flipper bushings that I installed, it certainly helps. Certainly helps a bit, because the flippers are a lot smoother. I did let me lift this quick. I did end up stretching the return spring. So let me just show you on flipper mats quick. I'm gonna get the balls out. Okay, so flipper mech. So I did end up stretching out all the return springs. You could just kind of take it off and stretch it out, but what you really want is just enough tension, just to return it back to the rest position, because it was just way too tight and it was like taking away some of the power. And then I'll show you, maybe, can you see it? I can get in here, maybe. I have to go onto the other flipper. The one that you can see better. So this flipper bushing, the problem was right. Yeah. So the flipper bushing, the problem was the original one was too long and it just did not have like any play at all. So it should have about maybe a 1/16 of an inch wiggle room, and when it goes into the coil it needs to go straight and smooth, and you should see that it aligns up. The problem it had was it was just too far out, and it was like causing it to kind of go in at an angle. So these new flipper bushings are a little bit shorter, so that's the main issue that they had. So it was doing two things. It was too tight against the bushing, causing some drag. And then it was also pushing this in at an angle, causing friction and decreased power. So I think I got all of the flipper problems other than the end of stroke switch fixed. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful. Call me if you need anything.